But you had one of the great quarterback duels in NFL history. Josh Allen with the Buffalo Bills versus Patrick Mahomes of the Kansas City Chiefs. And you have a situation where Buffalo is down by a score of 26-21. And Josh Allen converts not once, but twice, including a 4th down and 13 to Gabriel Davis. Wait, timeout. Who breaks the ankles of the Kansas City defensive back, catches the touchdown from Josh Allen. They convert on the 2-point conversion, I believe, to Stephon Diggs. Right after Stephon Diggs just, laid out a streaker running out in the field right before the 4th down play. And so you got Buffalo up by 3. But there's just a tick. There's about a minute 54 left in regulation. And we're like, that's Patrick Mahomes on the other side, man. This game's far from over. We had no idea. If you'd have told me, this drive coming up from Kansas City, this is going to be their second to last drive of the game, I'd have been like, oh, okay, so they're going to go down and score, and then Buffalo's going to tie it up with a field goal, right? Like, that's what's going to happen, or something like that is going to occur. Like, Kansas City's going to miss the extra point, and then like they did earlier, and Buffalo's going to drive down, tie it, and send it to overtime. Nope. That was Kansas City's second to last drive of the 4th quarter. Not of the game, of the 4th quarter. So anyways, Patrick Mahomes leads the Chiefs, bam, like that, all the way down the field in the span of 52 seconds, capped off by a 64-yard pass to Tyreek Hill, who threw up the deuces. I was holding my breath that they were going to throw a flag for unsportsmanlike conduct for taunting, which, thank God they didn't. I think it's a dumb rule. I hope the NFL gets rid of it after this season. We saw it happen with Tom Brady and Sean Hockley, the head official, in the game before that. But Tyreek throws up deuces. Kansas City is up by a score of 33-29. We're like, it's going to be tough now, because Josh Allen at this point has a minute and, minute 2 seconds left. Minute 2 seconds left for Josh Allen, the Bills offense. Boom, 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 boom. Touchdown to Gabriel Davis with 13 seconds left, and we're thinking, it's over. It's over. 13 seconds left. Josh Allen hits Gabriel Davis for an NFL playoff record 4th time. No receiver, including, as Jim Nantz pointed out in the broadcast on CBS last night. And by the way, how good were Jim Nantz and Tony Romo once again last night? Outstanding. But as Jim Nantz pointed out, not even the greatest receiver who ever lived, Jerry Rice, did this. Gabriel Davis last night became the first receiver in NFL history to catch 4 touchdowns in a single playoff game. I remember Chase Claypool caught 4 touchdowns last season against the Eagles, but that was a regular season game. This is the playoffs. This is a whole new ball game. Gabriel Davis catches the touchdown from Josh Allen. 13 seconds left. The Buffalo sidelines going crazy. I'm sure everybody up in Western New York is going crazy. I'm going crazy. I'm like, what a game, right? But there's 13 seconds left. Kansas City does have all their timeouts. And they have this guy by the name of Patrick Mahomes. Ever heard of him? And my thing was, and I'll get to the sort of a strategy for Buffalo in the kickoff a little later when I talk about the whole overtime rules. So I'll save that for later. Let's just skip to the first play. So Pat hits Tyreek Hill on the screen pass. He picks up 19 yards. Then, as Travis Kelce said after the game, they're basically playing backyard football. There wasn't even a play called for Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce said, I'm just going to run to the open spot in the field. You hit me. Well, that's exactly what happened. Mahomes hit Travis Kelce for a gain of 25 yards down to the Buffalo 31. And Harrison Butker, he had his struggles last night, but he hit the big one. He hit the game-tying field goal from 49 yards out to tie it and send it to overtime. And so we go to overtime, and I tweet this in real time. Whoever wins the coin toss is going to win the game. We had 25 points in the last 2 minutes of regulation. 25! That doesn't even make sense. That's like Madden rookie mode stuff. It's like you're playing like your sibling on Madden, and you got set on rookie mode where you can just like hit every deep pass down the field, and all the holes are wide open if you run the football. Like that's what it was. That's what it was. By the way, how Eric Bieniemy is not getting hardly any consideration for a head coaching job, no idea, because that play to Tyreek Hill, beautifully designed. Point is, we go to overtime, and Patrick Mahomes goes boom, 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 hits Mecole Hardman inside the 10-yard line, and on the very next play, hits Travis Kelce in the back right corner of the end zone for the game-winning touchdown to send the Kansas City Chiefs to a fourth consecutive AFC championship game, and putting the final nail in my coffin for who would get to the Super Bowl. I had Tampa Bay and the Bills before the season. That's a wash. That's over. It's not going to happen, obviously. But I've got so many takes on that. I just had to kind of lay it out there and set it up. So let me start on the Kansas City side. So to me, and this goes to show you, what do we see left in the playoffs? All four teams left. The Cincinnati Bengals, boy, you ever think we'd be saying that? The Cincinnati Bengals, the Kansas City Chiefs, the San Francisco 49ers, the Los Angeles Rams, all four of those teams still have a shot to win the Super Bowl this season. All four teams have one thing in common. Either they have an elite out-of-this-world quarterback or an elite out-of-this-world head coach. In the case of the Chiefs, they have both. They have both. They have the best quarterback in football. They have the best offensive coach since Bill Walsh. I saw a stat last night. I even posted it to my social media. I posted it to Instagram. By the way, if you're watching the YouTube, Twitter, or Facebook stream, you could see the links to my social media down there. Posted this to Instagram. I think I might have even tweeted it from SportsCenter. SportsCenter put out the stats that the Dallas Cowboys had 14. I hate to bring the Cowboys in this conversation and stain this up, but the Cowboys had 14 seconds left, before that infamous quarterback draw by Dak. They got one play. The Chiefs had 13 seconds. They got 3 plays and got into field goal range and tied the game. It goes to show you, folks, coaching matters. It matters, man. As great as Mahomes is, and I'm not here to take an ounce of credit for Mahomes, played exceptionally. Again, those last 3 drives, it's like he was playing high schoolers out there. He made it look easy. That's when you know you're great, is when you make other people look silly and you make it look easy for yourself individually and for your teammates. But Patrick Mahomes going to Andy Reid, getting drafted in 2017, might have been the most unfair quarterback head coach pairing. One of the most unfair quarterback head coach pairings in NFL history. Seriously. Because you got a playmaker at quarterback and you got a genius at head coach in regards to calling offensive plays. It's unbelievable. And as Andy Reid actually told Mahomes, Andy Reid, of course, told this to the press after the game, when there was 13 seconds left after Buffalo scored and went up by 3, 36-33, Andy Reid went on the sideline and told Mahomes, when it's grim, you be the Grim Reaper. I'm like, man, that's a line. I'm fired up listening to that, so I can't imagine how Mahomes felt. But now let me transition to Buffalo. Again, the team that I picked to represent the AFC preseason in Super Bowl 56. Buffalo, you had a solid season. I will say that you went 11-6. It was an up and down regular season, but you got hot, won your last 4, won your division, and smoked your division rival last week, the New England Patriots. And it is official now. Josh Allen is a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. He is. He's top 5. When we talk about quarterbacks who have everything, Josh Allen has everything. He's got the best arm in the league. His accuracy has gotten better and better and better and better every year. He's probably the most physical runner at the quarterback position that I've seen since Cam Newton, which scares me a little bit because look where Cam Newton is now. But, Cam never at any point in his career, even his MVP year, was as accurate as Josh Allen is in year 4. I just hope Josh Allen doesn't get beat up and it shortens his career, or at least shortens his prime. But Josh Allen moves well, runs all over the place. They design runs for him. Arm, accuracy, leadership. He's got it all. He's got it all. And what do we know? I'm going to get into Aaron Rodgers later in the show. What do we know about the postseason? That cements your legacy. And while everybody in Buffalo, the Bills organization and Bills Mafia, one of the greatest groups of fans in sports, while they're devastated today, I'll tell you this. You're going to get 2 Super Bowls with that guy. Be patient. You're going to get 2 Super Bowls with Josh Allen. This very well may be the next Brady versus Manning rivalry. Very well could be the case. And here's the thing. You say, well, Peyton and Tom, I mean, that's really stretching it. Is it? Because Peyton Manning and Tom Brady were different quarterbacks in a different era. They were the best for what that era called for. Kind of statue, move in the pocket, of course. You can't be, completely stagnant in the pocket behind that offensive line. Accurate. You don't have to have a massive arm. Neither Brady or Manning did. Make the key plays. Bring the leadership to the table. Be accurate. Be coachable. Both Allen and Mahomes are. So to everybody in the AFC, including Cincinnati, who clearly has their guy in Joe Burrow, these are the 2 teams. These are the 2 teams that are going to dominate the AFC for the next decade. Joe Burrow is going to dominate the next decade as well. I'm just not sure if the Cincinnati Bengals are going to do the same, because I still have major questions about Zach Taylor and the front office. But I'll get into that later when I talk about Cincinnati. So, Josh Allen, top 5. Top 5. Played, I mean, some have argued, hey, did he play better than Mahomes yesterday? Maybe. So let me get now to the overtime thing, because a lot of fans today are like, oh my goodness, Mahomes got the possession, won on a touchdown, and Josh Allen never got to touch the football. And everybody's all mad about that. I personally, and look, this is part of being a human, right? You evolve. You evolve your beliefs and your thoughts and how you look at certain things. And I've evolved in how I look at the NFL overtime. Because with the NFL, what people, the competition committee have said, we want to, after the 60 minutes are played, we hope there's a winner. If not, if it goes to overtime, get the overtime over as quickly as possible. Make sure nobody gets hurt, because if that game was based off of, basketball overtime rules, game would have lasted like 5 overtimes, literally. And you think that's good for football? I mean, basketball players are drained and even injured sometimes after playing multiple overtimes. How do you think football is going to feel? In that weather, Arrowhead Stadium, probably below freezing, hitting each other constantly, both teams desperate to win this game, move to the next round. That's tough. And I think a lot of the complaints of not having overtime has a lot to do with the fact people don't like Kansas City. Same reason 3 years ago when Kansas City lost to New England in overtime in the AFC Championship game, and Patrick Mahomes never got to touch the ball, and Brady led the Patriots down the field. They won the game and got to the Super Bowl. People didn't like New England. So some of it, I think, is people just dislike the teams. But also what I would say is Buffalo, and I said this in real time. I wish I'd tweeted it, but I said this in real time watching the game with my dad upstairs where we watched all the games. I said, Buffalo, and because I've heard people say, they need to squib kick it. No. Kick it high. Pop it up at about the 5-10 yard line. Make Kansas City return it and bleed it down to 8-9 seconds left. Because then all Kansas City can do at that point is get a 25-yarder maybe to Kelsey or Tyreek and then throw a Hail Mary. Or whatever trick play they try to use. Maybe it's Andy Reid. Maybe he tries something weird. But no, we cannot have the overtime continue over and over and over. Because the way that game was going, that game was never going to end. Ever. And so for the Chiefs, for the Bills, what a game. Should the overtime rules change? I think no. Now remember, I talked about this when Pittsburgh and Detroit in the game, I think in November, went to overtime. And the game ended in a tie. I've always said I hate ties. I just want a winner. But I have no problem with the first team that gets the ball. Because look, Buffalo, get a stop. even without Tre'Davious White. That's a great defense. Now, I get they're playing Mac Jones last week, but did you see what they did to Mac Jones last week? Now, Patrick Mahomes is, galaxies better than Mac, but just get one stop. You had 3. As people talked about when the Saints got screwed over in that pass interference call a few years ago against the Rams. And I said, that's not the reason they lost. It's a reason, it's not the reason. The Saints had 3 opportunities after that to win the game. In the case of the Bills, 3 opportunities. If you'd have stopped Kansas City after you took the lead with 2 minutes left, you'd have won the game. If you'd have stopped Kansas City with 13 seconds left, 13, unlucky number 13, I guess, you'd have won the game. If you'd have stopped him in overtime, you're giving the ball back to Josh Allen, all he needs is a field goal. You'd have won the game. You had your opportunities. You just didn't take advantage. By the way, Kansas City had some special teams mistakes that the game should have never even came down to the last 2 minutes. Now, thank God it did because of what we got to all witness from there. But that's my thoughts on it. We don't need a longer overtime. Guys are going to get hurt. Guys are going to be beat up. The winning team is going to be beat up going into next week, which would give Cincinnati a massive advantage. Get a stop. Just one. All you needed was one stop. You had 3 opportunities to get, to get one stop, including once with 13 seconds left. That's all you need. But that was one of the greatest quarterback duels that I've ever seen. This will be the next Brady versus Manning. Book it. Because what today's era of quarterbacks calls for, big arm, playmaking, accuracy, leadership, both guys are A-pluses in all of them. By the way, mobility. Did I bring up mobility? I don't know if I brought up mobility or not. Both guys move around great. Allen's slightly better than Mahomes, but you see how Mahomes dances around that pocket, finds guys open? Both guys are A-pluses in all the things that you need in 2022 to be a great quarterback. Plain and simple. Thanks so much for watching the show on YouTube. Be sure to click that big red subscribe button and go check out the other clips and full shows of Carving It Up Live. Have a blessed day.